When you woke up this morning, how did you feel? Did you think, today is just another day? Or did you think, today is the first day of the rest of my life? Think back. As a child, you had an infinite capacity for wonder. You thought anything was possible. You dreamed big. As you left the house this morning, did you remember those dreams? Or are dreams now a luxury that only other people can afford? It's easy to get lost on your journey, to become sidetracked, to forget where it was you actually wanted to go. Think back. You can do anything, be anyone, right? You make the rules. You're the hero in your story. This is your journey. It's never too late to change direction. Are you ready for adventure? You've already taken the first step. Where will the next one take you? There are no shortcuts in life, but we can help you draw a map. Ask yourself, are you prepared to go a little further?
Hello and welcome to the most amazing opportunity that I believe is out there available to anybody internationally. So just to introduce myself, my name is Debbie Nwangwa and my background was actually in the oil and gas industry. I'd been in a customer-facing training role for over 10 years and I absolutely loved my job in my early 20s, and then my children came along. So I've got two boys who are now 12 and nearly 15. But back then, my job wasn't available as part-time. So unfortunately, I had to put my children into wraparound daycare from the age of 3 months old. So it was not too bad when they were really, really young, although I didn't really get to see them when they were awake from Monday to Friday, just because they were often asleep or really, really tired and ratty by the end of the day that I picked them up at 6 p.m. So I did that because I didn't really have a choice. My job, out of me and my husband Martin, was the safe and secure job. I'd been in there for a long time, as I said, and I knew it like the back of my hand. So it was almost like better the devil that you knew. But as time went on and I started to miss things like sports days and parents' evenings and all of the really important things that my kids needed me to be at, I was never there. They couldn't have play dates. I didn't really know any of the other parents because we just weren't around. I was always running in, dropping them off, and then running back out again so I could get onto the road. So for me, it was very, it was very I was very time poor. And I was also money poor as well. I never really got to the end of the month with having any money in the bank. So we had to lend money off parents, and they really, really helped us out as the children were little. And then 7 years ago, so at the point of recording this presentation, I have been in Forever now for 7 years. And 7 years ago, we looked at a private school for my eldest son, Kai. And I fell in love. It was a boys-only school. It was fantastic at music and sports. And my boys were already showing that that was the things that they were really, really good at. So I wanted to put my kids into private school, and that's when I started to look at something else. And I knew I couldn't go and do bar work. I knew I couldn't go and clean an office or whatever else it was around my full-time career, because I just didn't have that time. Time was already very, very lacking for me in my life. My husband was in sales, so his job was quite volatile, and he'd been made redundant quite a few times. So when I looked at Forever, it was something that I knew I could do whilst the children were in bed, on my computer or my phone, and it was something that I could build up maybe a few £100s a month. And actually, if I'm really, really honest, that's all I thought it was going to be. So I needed help with the school fees. My mother-in-law was paying for half of those for my eldest son when he was 7. And I knew that I couldn't offer private education for one child and not the other. So I knew I needed to find that money. And lucky for me, that's where Forever came in. Somebody that I knew was already doing it, had recently started with the company, and she just let me know how much money people were making very, very part-time. So I got started, and I'm really, really excited to say that Forever has completely changed our lives. So both of the boys, I'm really pleased to say, have been at private school now for a number of years. My eldest for 7 years, and my youngest for 5 years. So for us, it's given me time. So I worked my Forever business and also my full-time 50-hour-a-week job for 2.5 years. And the reason for that is because I wanted to make sure that it was something that was going to be around forever. Sorry for the pun, but I wanted to make sure that it was something that wasn't going to be here today and gone tomorrow. It didn't take me 2.5 years to find that out. It's just that I'd been in that job for a long, long time. And so I just needed that security. And yeah, right, so after 2.5 years of doing the business very, very part-time alongside my full-time career, I decided that because my Forever business was actually giving me 3 times more than my full-time income, then the right move for me was to spend that time at home with my children and to be able to do this around their term times. So now, 7 years after joining Forever, I'm very pleased to say that both me and my husband are both stay-at-home parents. The boys are absolutely loving the school. They've loved it since the moment that they joined. And they're really thriving with the smaller class sizes and the opportunities that they have in front of them. You know, Forever's not only given us lots of choices, it's given us time, it's given us flexibility. And I now work this business around when the boys are in school in the daytime and when they're in bed of a night time if I choose to. So it's my pleasure to tell you all about the background of the company and what it's all about really, and why I chose to be a part of this amazing, amazing opportunity. So who are we internationally? This is our head office in Scottsdale, Arizona. And we were founded in 1978. So in 2018, so just a few months' time, we'll be celebrating our 40th birthday. So it's a very long-standing company. We operate in over 158 countries worldwide. So I now have businesses in lots of different countries that I've never even been to, just by the power of the internet and people that I knew, or people that I knew other people in those countries. We turn over $2.5 billion, and that's because of the industry that we're in, which you'll see as we go through the presentation. And we're in the health and wellness sector, which is just absolutely enormous, and it's growing and growing month in, month out, year in, year out. We've got assets like the head office that you just looked at, of over $1.5 billion. And every single one of the 158 countries that we're in, we have a head office that's bought for cash. So there's no mortgages, there's no debts. We're completely cash rich and debt free. So for me, when I looked at this, coming from a corporate job and being very safe and secure in that role, I needed to know that this business was going to be around for a long, long time, and not just, just arrived in the industry, etc. We've got an experienced, long-standing senior management team. Now, what that means is that in the corporate world, when I got a new boss, everything would change. So they would call it restructuring. Everything would change. The goalposts would change. The bonus payments would change. And so you never really knew where you were at if there was a new change of management. The good thing I love about Forever is it was started by a gentleman, which you'll see in a few more slides, called Rex Morn. And his family and his close associates are the people that still run the company today. So you know exactly where you're at every single day. Now, the building that you can see on screen now is our head office in the United Kingdom, and that's where I'm based. So we've been in the UK since 1993, and we've got sales of over £100 million. Now, when I started just 7 years ago, the turnover was just £43 million. So you can see the growth in the industry, and because of the product range that we have, which again you'll see further on. And that's the reason for the growth. We've got the Investors and People Award, and we're also Direct Selling Association members, and that's the governing body that looks after the sort of the environment that we're in. So I mentioned Rex already, and he is our CEO. He's an amazing, amazing man with a fantastic ability to see the vision for the future, and I'm really, really proud to work alongside him and our senior management team. So you can see that we are based on ethical practices. Now, everything that we do is, there's fun included in it. They treat you like a family. It really does feel like a family orientated company to be part of. Integrity, empathy, fun. They're the kinds of things that we have in our mission statement. So it's a really lovely environment to be part of. So the global success of Forever, we take the combined power of a network of people, home-based business owners, and we supply products direct to the consumer. So in a normal shop where you would have a product on the shelf, that has to go through lots and lots of chains of command and people to get paid in order to get from the producer of that product to the end customer. Now with Forever, they produce the products themselves and they come straight to us as business owners and then straight into the hands of our customers. And that's a really lovely way to work because they get a fantastic service and an amazing product that we know exactly the process from plant to product. We also, for those people that want to see the potential of the business opportunity like you're looking at today, then we show them the potential of the business opportunity. Now that could be over a coffee, over a glass of wine, it could be in a formal meeting, it could be over in a cafe, it could be over the internet, Skype, FaceTime, it can be lots and lots of different ways. So the benefits of team marketing is something that I'd never really heard of before. But basically what it is it's completely uncapped. So nobody else decides how much you're worth or what price band that you should be on based on your age or, ethnicity or whatever it might be. You decide how much you're worth and you get to work for that. So it's completely uncapped, which means that there's no ceiling to what you can earn. The harder you work, the more that you get paid. And that's not bound by hours of work either. And it's completely willable. I've already mentioned that me and my husband Martin have 2 children. And so what I've created in the last 7 years is actually written in my will to be passed down to my children when we're no longer here anymore. So as a parent, it's really lovely peace of mind to be able to go to bed at night knowing that whatever happens to us, our children are always going to be looked after by the Forever income. And that's only taken a few years to create. So you completely decide your goals. There is no, written goal book from Forever. You sit down with whoever introduces you to the business and you say, this is what I'd like to achieve short term and this is what I'd love to achieve long term. And the system helps you to achieve those goals and the person that introduces you to the business too. Now you can work it very part-time, which is what I did for 2.5 years, very, very part-time. Half an hour here, half an hour there. I stopped watching the television, which created a lot of time for me. And you can fit it around your commitments that you currently have. So if you have a full-time career or you have a part-time job, you can simply fit it around that. Full training and support's given. So you use the simple business building cycle that we all use and it works. So you don't have to come into this business and think, how do I get started? Because all of that is set up for you, which is just fantastic. There's lots and lots of added benefits of being with the company, and that means that because we're not owned by shareholders and all of that kind of thing that you would normally get in the corporate world, then we have things like car plan, so a car that's paid for. It doesn't have to be spent on a car, it can be spent on reducing your mortgage payments. It's a cash incentive that's given to people that qualify. And once you've qualified, you qualify for 3 years. So it's a fantastic, fantastic incentive. There's also global travel, global business building opportunity. The world really is your oyster. You've got chairman's bonus, again, because we're not owned by shareholders. It's a share of Forever's turnover that's given back to qualifying business owners. You get lots and lots and lots of recognition for the right things, lots of prizes and lots of fun. So what do? We use the products. You can only recommend products that you've actually personally used yourself with integrity. So you become your own best customer. And what that allows you to do is share the benefits of those products and how they feel and testimonials that you'll have on you and your family and the people that you care about. You talk about the benefits to other people when the opportunity is right. And what that will help you to do is to develop just 20 to 30 regular customers each month that you will look after personally. And for those people that want to go on to earn the bigger money and the bigger incentives and things like that, then you'll have to look into the side of building a team. Now, this for me came very naturally because once I started to earn an income that was something to talk about, everybody wanted to know what it was that I was doing. So I was just able to talk to them about the opportunity and what it was doing for me and my family and the people that I'd already introduced into the business. And we help you to find your first 5 key people. And we just simply work the business cycle, which I'm going to show you shortly. And then we just help your team to do exactly the same thing. We help them talk about the benefits of the products, become their own best customer, and we coach them to develop those 20 to 30 customers themselves and to also find their first 5 key people. So it's a simple, duplicatable cycle, and it's been running now for nearly 40 years. So this is the cycle that I mentioned. So we simply sit you down and say, right, you need a database of people that you want to talk to about the business and also about the benefits of the products that you can help them with. So we help you write your own database and we show the people the benefits of the product and also the benefits of the business if that's what they want to look at. Then once they've seen an initial bit of information, and that could be over the internet, it could be on a recording, it could be at a formal meeting, it could be over a coffee. Then we'll bring them along to a more formal presentation called a business presentation, which is exactly what you're looking at now on this recording. And if they decide that they want to get involved and they want to take it further, then we just simply get them registered, and that gives them a business building license to trade in 158 countries worldwide. We simply sit them down and say, right, what do you want to achieve? How quickly do you want to achieve it? And how much time have you got to put into your business? And we put a plan together for that individual. And then we help them get to what we call the manager position, which is generally the equivalent of the average salary in the UK. Now, all of this is driven by why. Why did somebody think enough of you to invite you to take a look at this presentation? It could be that you want a better lifestyle. It could be that you've got lots and lots of time but zero money. It could be that you've got lots and lots of money but zero time, and that's generally what happens in the work world. And it's about getting that balance right. It could be that you'd love to travel more and have, you know, a company like Forever pay for your 5-star holidays twice a year, which is exactly what me and my family get. It could be that you love self-development and you just want to learn more and help coach other people to learn more as well. It could be complete financial freedom. I don't know anybody that wouldn't want to be more financially free. It could be that you've not got a pension and you're really worried about what you're going to survive on after all of those years of hard work that you've put into the workplace. It could be that you would love to drive your dream car, but you've never had enough money to do so. Now, my why isn't actually on this screen. Mine was all about school fees. I just simply wanted my children to go to the school that we'd chosen for them that was going to be perfect for them as boys. So your reason might not be on this screen either. So we talked about 5 key people, and this is just an example of what it looks like on a picture. So if you imagine you're in the bottom there in the purple and you're just finding 10 hours collectively throughout the week. So for me, I always used to manage to watch the soaps, so EastEnders, Coronation Street, all of the things that were on the television of a night time after the children had gone to bed. And I always had at least 2 or 3 hours where I sat on the sofa and I watched television. So I stopped doing that because I knew that if I wanted my life to change, I had to change something. And that was where I found those sort of 7 to 10 hours a week, was just stopping watching television. And I didn't watch television for probably about 2 or 3 years, just because I knew I needed to put that hard work in at first if I wanted to leave work. So for me, in my example, this could be that you found 10 hours a week. You might have a friend who wants to just look after a few customers and they just want to put in 5 hours into their business and they've joined your team. You've got somebody else up in the top there that wants to put in the same amount of time as you. They've got 10 hours. You've got somebody else that's put in 20 hours, someone else that's put in 30 hours, and a business developer that has found 50 hours with them and their team. And it could be that they've been made redundant and they seriously need to make up that shortfall in their household income very, very quickly. Now, what happens in Forever, it's very, very clever. You don't just get paid on your 10 hours of work. You get paid on the entire team turnover. And that money comes straight from Forever, because without you, that business wouldn't exist. And those people also get paid direct from Forever. So we teach everyone to use the products, develop their 20 to 30 customers, find their first 5 key people for those that want to make the bigger incomes, and we coach and duplicate exactly the same. So you're then getting paid 125 hours worked into your business. So it's a really, really smart way of working. So the areas of income, you've got the first one, which is the retailer, which is exactly what I did. That's all I did for about 9 months into my business. I became really, really good at recommending products that I was personally using and having great benefits from myself. And so I built up an enormous customer base just in my local area. Sometimes it was online, but mostly in my local area, of other people who wanted to benefit from these amazing products just like I was. So that was giving me about £600 or £700 in retail profit in my first sort of 9 months into the business. I then decided that because my husband had been made redundant again, that I needed to really take this business seriously, and I wanted to learn how to build a team. So I became a team leader after about 10 or 11 months into my business by choice, and I started to earn over £2,000 per month alongside my full-time income. So it made an enormous difference to our household. I could tell my mother-in-law she didn't need to pay the fees anymore. And it really did start to cement to my husband that this business worked. That then led me on to becoming a business developer because lots and lots of other people wanted to do what I was doing too. And I was really passionate about how this business was changing so many lives. And I still am today after 7 years. So the business developer income is anything from £2,000 to £20,000 plus per month. Now, I forgot to mention at the beginning of the presentation that I left school at 16 with no qualifications. I didn't go on to further education because I wasn't really very good at it. I didn't really enjoy it. I wasn't very good at it. And I just wanted to go out into the big bad world and earn money. And that's generally what I did. But I never ever imagined in a million years that somebody with very, very low skill set and no qualifications would be earning £20,000 plus per month. But I'm really proud to say that just, a normal person like me has earned those kinds of figures within the month. So probably getting a little bit more excited now that you've heard those incomes. And I didn't believe that when I first joined that I would be earning that kind of income, and all I've done is follow that simple cycle. So Forever, because we're a global company, they introduced something called a case credit. So it's a little bit of jargon, and it means that when I'm talking to my team members in Australia or Dubai or Portugal, we all talk the same language because we don't talk in that country's currency. We talk in the Forever currency, which is called a case credit. So in the UK, which is where I am currently, one case credit is £237 at the customer retail price. But the price that I pay as a business owner is £166 at the wholesale price. So the difference in one case credit from wholesale to retail is around about £75 and 30% profit. So if you imagine for every 1cc, you're getting about £75 profit in your pocket. Now what we're going to do is we're going to teach you to do 4 of those case credits every single month. Now, how can I say that with confidence? Because in 7 years, that's all I've done is I've always done 4 case credits and more every single month. And I don't class myself as a salesperson, but I'm really passionate about the products and how they can help people's health. So 4 case credits a month, you're probably thinking, wow, that's a lot of retail. You don't just do 4 case credits by retailing. So when you join the business, you get 1.085 of a case credit. So you've already done one of those 4. Every time you introduce somebody else into the business, you also get another 1.085. So for every time that somebody joins your team, you get case credits. Every time somebody buys a product from you, you get case credits. And every time you replenish any products that you need as a family, instead of going onto the high street and buying those products, then you get case credits for that as well. So instead of putting money into the high street stores, I put money into my own business because I trust the products, and I really, really do. And I have fallen in love with them over the last 7 years. And why wouldn't I recommend those to the people that I love the most? So How do we get paid? So when you join the business, you register as a new business owner and you purchase the UK box that you can see on screen at a 15% discount for just £199.75. Now I like to call this our evaluation pack because those products that's in that pack are the fastest moving products in the UK. So those are the products that are moved on a regular basis. So you can see 3 of the drinking gels are in there, and there's lots and lots more products in that box, which I'll go through a little bit later on. So what we're not looking for is investors. You need to get the products in you and on you to be able to recommend those with integrity. You get your first promotion to assistant supervisor and you get a 35% profit margin straight away, just for purchasing your own box. So lots and lots of people join the business to get their own discount as well because they're getting these products a lot cheaper than that retail price. Now your next promotion is what we call supervisor, and I'm going to show you exactly how to work your way up the marketing plan to be at whatever level of income that you want to earn. So supervisor is the next step on the marketing plan. Now supervisor requires you to do 25 of those case credits over 2 consecutive calendar months. So at the moment of me recording this, we're at the very end of October 2017. So your 2 calendar months could be November and December of 2017. So you calculate all of the case credits from you and your entire team, and that's how you get your next promotion. So I'm going to show you an example of how this can be done very, very easily. So as I already mentioned, we're going to teach you personally to do those 4 case credits yourself by using the products, retailing to a few customers, and introducing people into your team. So if we teach you to do your 4 case credits, and we've got 3 people that have joined your business, and they also do 4 case credits, just in one of those 2 months, you've done 16 case credits collectively. Add that to the second month and do exactly the same again with absolutely no growth, just exactly the same month. Then 16 plus 16 for those 2 consecutive months means you've done 32 case credits. Now the really exciting part about this promotion is it opens up another pay structure. And this is what we call a team leading bonus. So you've now gone to your next promotion because you've done more than 25 case credits. I'm going to call them CCs because it's less of a mouthful, which means you've now gone up to 38% instead of 35%. That means that your team members who are still on 35% are at a different level to you. So what Forever do is they actually pay you the difference between your 38% and their 35% on whatever their turnover is. So that 3% as a team leading bonus can make a real difference, and that payment comes straight from Forever. You never ever take money off your team. You only get paid the more successful that you help that person become, and that's what I really love about this business the most, or one of the things that I love the most. So you've typically got between 3 and 5 people in your team by now, and you're earning about £400 or £500 per month. It doesn't sound like an awful lot, but if you calculate that for very part-time work over a year, that's a few £1,000s extra coming into your household alongside your current commitments. So for me, I know Supervisor made a huge difference to our household. It just meant we didn't have to ask our parents for handouts for petrol and food and all of that kind of thing, which we'd always done before, regardless of how hard we'd worked. Now you've had your promotion to supervisor and your team are going to be saying to you, well, how do I get to supervisor? I'd quite like that next income payment stream to open up for me too. So we're just going to teach them to do exactly what you've just done by everybody doing their 4 case credits. Now, if you help just 2 people get to the supervisor level, that means each of them will have done as their teams 25 case credits over 2 months. There's 50 case credits, and you help a few more people get started, and you help, sorry, I'm just going to go back a stage. You help a few more people get their promotions, and you in turn get your promotion. So the assistant manager level, which is really key, is where you've done 75 case credits as a team over 2 consecutive months. You've now helped 2 people get to the supervisor level, so they've gone up to 38%. You're now on 43%, so you've had another 5% pay rise. Again, you get the team leading bonus based upon your 43 and their 35, or your 43 and their 38. Do not worry if you don't understand all of these numbers, because I definitely didn't get this. Even though I got paid, I didn't understand it to be able to explain it for at least a year, and I was still getting paid whilst I was learning, which is just fantastic. Now, assistant managers earn between £600 and £900 a month. Again, makes a huge difference to most households. You've now got between 10 and 15 people in your team, and your supervisors are going to be wanting to ask you, how do I get to assistant manager and go up to the next pay level? So we're going to show them exactly what you've just done. We help their team get to supervisor, which makes them an assistant manager. By helping your supervisors get to assistant manager, you again get your promotion by default because you've helped enough people. So the manager level requires 120 cc over 2 consecutive months. Typically now you've got between 15 and 25 people in your team in total, and you've now gone up to the top level of bonus, which is 48% discount off your products and profit margin when you're retailing to other people. So you're now getting your products at nearly 50% off. So it is really incredible. Your income's probably about £1,200 to £2,000 per month. Again, very, very part-time. I was still doing this in 7 to 10 hours a week. So it just made a huge, huge difference to our household. Again, you get the difference in your team lead and bonus based upon your 48 and their 35, or your 48 and their 38. And you've got somebody following you every step of the way who's on 43% based on your 48%. Now, what happens when you help that person there that's showing up as an assistant manager get to the same level as you, which they will be on 48% too? What happens when you help somebody else get to the manager level? This is where the royalty style income kicks in. So for me, I talked about how my income that I've created over the last 7 years is now willable to my children, which is written into my will. It's because of this royalty style income. And I've helped over 180 people get to this manager position throughout my entire team. That means 180 people plus have completely transformed their lives with this income, whether that meant that they could give up work, whether that meant that they could just have more lavish holidays, whether that meant that they could pay off their debts. Whatever their reason was for joining, their lives have been transformed by this income. So I'm really, really proud of that. So when you help your friend Flo, in this instance, get to the manager position, who's also going to be on 48%, you now get 6% turnover of Flo's business for life. And Flo's business is going to grow. And we call her first generation because you personally introduced her to the business. So on a brand new manager business, which turns over around about 15,000 a month here in the UK, that 6% of that is going to give you £900. And Flo probably doesn't need your help anymore. Flo then helps her friend Mo get to the manager position just by following exactly what you've taught her. Now, even though you didn't introduce Mo to the business, she's called your second generation, Forever will pay you 3% of her turnover for life. And that's about £450 per month and grows every month. Mo then helps their friend Joe. Now, Joe could be in a completely different country. I've got lots of Joes that are in and around the world that I've never even met. So again, because you didn't introduce Joe to the business, Forever will still pay your third generation manager 2% of their turnover, which is about £300 of a brand new manager. So add all of that together, that's an extra £1,650 per month as a royalty income. Add that to your income that you're already getting for the other people that you're still helping get to that manager position. You're now earning about £3,500 per month. And that's on just one line of managers. It stops at the third generation and everybody gets paid 3 generations. Now, what would happen if you had 5 of those lines? So you heard me mention earlier about earning more than £20,000 a month. This is how it happens. Help enough people get what they want and you get what you want anyway, because it's all about helping enough people. And this is what's completely blown me away over the last 7 years. So as I mentioned already, it's a global style income. So imagine this is you and I'm based in the UK. Think about, who do you know in America? Who do you know around Europe, in Africa? Anywhere around the world you can build a business with this company. So the next level, after you've helped 2 people get to the manager level, which is people that you've personally sponsored, you're called a senior manager. So these are pin titles, and you can see the incomes per year underneath each of the titles. So senior manager is 2 managers that you've helped get to that point, and that's 30,000 a year. Soaring manager means you've helped 5 that you've personally sponsored get to that manager level, and that's 60,000 plus per year. Sapphire manager is 9, and that's 120,000 per year. Diamond Sapphire is 17 of those personally sponsored managers, 200,000 plus per year. And the top level in the UK right now is 25 managers, which is called Diamond Manager. And that means you're on 350,000 plus per year. Now, these figures have to be very moderate and lowballed. They have to be based on an average manager business. Now, nothing that we do as a team is average. So I tested out my pin level at the moment in the UK is a soaring manager. Now, for the last 3 years, I've been paid more than a diamond sapphire manager says on this income scale. So I know that these figures are very, very lowballed and based on average manager businesses. So the girl with the no qualifications that left school and went straight into a job and just flitted around from job to job to job until she found something that was a bit more stable, to be earning more than £200,000 a year is just incredible. And that's how it allowed me to, you know, have my husband give up his sales job too. And now that's how we're both stay-at-home parents. So can it happen to you? Absolutely. And these are just some of the chairman's bonus checks. So one of the incentives that I mentioned earlier, because we're not owned by shareholders, was a portion of the company's profits is given back to qualifying business owners over a 3-day period every single year. Now, when I first saw this particular incentive, I thought, oh my goodness, if I could get one of those in the next 10 years, that would be absolutely brilliant. And I'm working with these people that you can see on the screen, and for me, I just copied what they did, and it's very duplicatable. So what happened was, after 18 months in the business, I was flown out to Hawaii with my husband, all 5-star expenses paid, to collect one of these checks for the work that I'd done the year before. And it was on that trip that my husband really saw what this business was all about. I already loved it. I really enjoyed spending time with the people that I was working with and learning more about the industry that I was now a part of. And again, I was still working full time. But in Hawaii, we were given a check for $7,500 from the company's founder, which is Rex, that you saw a little while ago. And that was for a job well done for the year before. Now, we've gone on to have over £300,000 given out to us as these bonus checks over the last 5 years. And they're just bonuses for doing a job very well done. We've had about 15 free holidays from Forever over the last 7 years, which has just been truly breathtaking. It's been something that has literally blown my socks off, and I've been able to take my entire family with us as well. So last year we were fortunate enough to win the trip to Johannesburg, and we picked up a check of $163,000 as a bonus check, which was just incredible. You know, for my 5th year in the business to have achieved that, it meant that I could take my entire family with us. So I took my parents, my kids, obviously my husband, and I took my mother-in-law as well. So it's memories that I will never, ever, ever forget, and the children as well. So the extras, as if that wasn't enough, you've got global travel. They give you spending money when you get on these global trips as well. So this year we went to Dubai, and I was able to take my nan with me as well as the children and my husband. And we got spending money whilst we were there. So we actually came home with more money than we actually went with, which never, ever, ever would have happened had I not have been part of this amazing company. And every year it's an amazing destination that I couldn't have even dreamt of going on before. It definitely beats the holidays that we used to have down in Cornwall in the terrible English weather that my husband absolutely hated because he doesn't do the cold. So I'm very, very pleased to say that our holidays now are definitely much warmer climates, and all expenses paid. There's one last incentive which I mentioned earlier, which is we call it car plan, because most people put this money towards a car of their choice. So it's called Forever to Drive, and it's an extra £6,300 a year for 3 years. So, you know, you're talking nearly £20,000 over 3 years that's paid into your bank as a cash injection every month, and you can spend it on whatever you want to. Me personally, I was able to 3 years ago go and purchase the car of my dreams, and now I'm in the position where I'm thinking of the next car of my dreams because it's paid for by Forever, which is just incredible. So you can start to see some of the backgrounds of the people that we work with. So you can see that there's not one size fits all. You've got a surveyor, a farmer, a hair and beauty, nail technicians, PhD students. Me, I was in oil and gas in the corporate world. My husband was in sales. I work with childminders. I work with teachers, people that maybe one day loved their jobs, but then it turned into something where they didn't love their job so much anymore, and they really wanted to spend more time with their family and the people that they loved. So you can see that it's lots of real people doing this business of all different ages, sizes, nationalities, you name it. But no company would be anything without an amazing set of products to back it up. Now you can see our flagship product on the screen. That's our aloe vera drinking gel, which for me is the best product that we have on on our product range. We've got over 200 products in lots of different product areas, which I'll show you as we go through. So the marketplace that we're in is the health and nutrition and skincare and well-being industry, and everybody these days wants to live longer, healthier lives. You know, we're living longer as a generation, and people really care about what they look like and how their health is. So the weight management sector, which is actually the part of the business that I started in, because I had an amazing result on the weight management products, and because I did, everybody noticed, and so they started to ask me what it was that I was doing and how they could get involved in, especially taking the products. So that is a £2 billion UK market. So it is just growing and growing and growing. The vitamins and supplements sector is 414 million, and this is just in the UK. Sports and nutrition, 356 million. Skincare is 2.2 billion. You know, by the end of this year, that's what it's set to be worth. So imagine, you know, we're only turning over £100 million. We haven't even scratched the surface yet in terms of the marketplace that we're in. And male grooming, men are now taking care of themselves much more than they ever used to before. So that's a £1.1 billion market. So just think about that marketplace. We're in the right place with the right products at the right time and growing. So this is our aloe fields that are based over in the Dominican Republic. So why choose us? We're the world's #1 grower and producer of aloe vera based products. So we don't add aloe vera into our products. We start with aloe vera and we add other ingredients in based upon what it's used for. We've got a patented stabilization process. So all of our aloe is hand filleted. It's a cold process. It's not heat treated. So it is essentially alive in our tubes and bottles, exactly the same as you would get it from the plant. And we only use the inner leaf gel. And that whole process of stabilizing the gel and making it just as good as it would be from the plant itself is patented to forever. So nobody can ever copy and nobody will ever be more superior than us. So that quality is safe, it's natural, and it's GM free as well. So you can confidently recommend these to people that you care about. There's no nasties, there's no insecticides, artificial fertilizers, and we've got an advisory board of highly qualified people that run our training sessions for us so that we can understand exactly how we can help people, animals, the elderly, the young, sports professionals, people in weight management, all of these different areas of the business. We've got people that are experts. So we've got a GP, an ex-GP that's now on our advisory board. We've got a vet. We've got a skincare and nutritionist. We've got lots of people that really know what they're talking about, that are helping us and advising us on how to help our customers. For me, though, the best thing on this page is the 60-day money-back guarantee. I knew that if I was going to recommend these to people that I cared about, I wanted some sort of guarantee that if it didn't work for whatever reason, they could have their money back with no questions asked. So for me, this was really, really good, because I thought a company wouldn't be around for 40 minutes, let alone 40 years, if the products didn't work. And I'm pleased to say that I don't get refunds. They're pure and simple products for absolutely everyone. So we've got the Leaping Bunny. We don't test on animals. We've got the 60-day satisfaction guarantee. We've got the Aloe Science Council that tests us every year to say what is in the tubes and bottles is definitely what's in the tubes and bottles. We've got Kosher, Islamic Society, and Halal. So we really can recommend these to anybody from any faith, any ethnicity, any background, with confidence. So I mentioned the business in a box earlier for £199.75. You make money immediately just by recommending one of those products. You get your assistant supervisor, which is 35% discount or 35% profit for anything that you recommend on. It's the quickest and the best way to get your business up and running. This is your toolkit. You know, you get all of your literature, your marketing materials. I know hairdressers that have paid over £600 for one pair of scissors to be able to do their job. And this business is less than £200. It's the best £200 that I've ever spent. And I definitely spend more than that on a night out. So will it work for me is probably a question that you're asking right now, and I had exactly the same reservations. It will absolutely work for you if you take it seriously. It's like any other venture. You can't just open up a shop on the high street and expect people to be knocking on your door. You've got to treat it like any other new venture. Time, effort, you know, real focus on your business is really required, even if it's only just 1 hour a day. You need to be coachable and attend the relevant training based on the different marketplaces that you want to specialize in. You need to learn your craft. You need to commit the time that's required to become successful. You know, some people do this business very, very quickly, and I took a year to get to that manager position. But it really doesn't matter. It's not a race. It's a marathon. You need to be self-motivated and willing to work closely with the person who sent you this recording or introduced you to the business. And if they're brand new, they've got somebody helping them. So don't ever worry that there isn't anybody to help you. You need to be willing to think big, dream big, and set goals for you and your family. So for me, the reason why I stayed in my job for 2.5 years is because I never set the goal to leave my work. It was never part of the plan. It was just about paying for school fees. And it wasn't until somebody said to me, you know, you're earning X amount of money in your forever business. Why are you still working full time? And that's when the penny dropped for me, because it was never part of my goal. I wish I'd have made it part of my goal when I first joined, and I could have got out of that work and that kind of those shackles much, much sooner. You need to commit to having regular customers and looking after those customers and building your team if you want to earn the bigger incomes, and developing those 5 key people we talked about. And be prepared to tell everybody what it is that you're doing. It's not MI5, and your mouth is generally your shop window. Just be passionate about the products. You don't need to know everything when you first join. There's always somebody there to help you and guide you every step of the way. And just have a great attitude.
The impact that Forever has had on our lives has just been out of this world. I had my 2 eldest daughters when I was very young, and then I had my youngest when I was 30, just after I joined Forever. And the time that I have to spend with Rosa, my youngest, it's showed me how amazing this opportunity can be. It's not just about money, it's not about the holidays, it's not about the cars, it's about having that time.
I've taken myself from being broke, living a life of worry and concern, and not being able to give my family what they wanted to have, to being financially free and living a life that most people only ever dream of.
True freedom, knowing that no matter what I want to do, any day of the week I can do that.
Because my mum's built an amazing business, my sister's built an amazing business, so together as a family we've managed to change our lives, and thanks to Forever we travel the world together, making amazing memories as a family.
All these children have graduated. To pay their school fees was no longer a problem. 2 years into Forever, we're making enough to pay off for children's boarding school fees in the UK?
Just picking a country and saying, let's go. Let's go because we want to, and being able to work from there.
To work for myself, this is it's just amazing. You know, the feeling of you are on with yourself and you can do whatever you want anytime you want.
What I love about Forever is it is absolutely a level playing field and an equal opportunity. It doesn't matter where you've come from, it's more about where you want to go to.
So from what you've seen so far, you'll probably be in one of three places. You might be a no, and that's absolutely fine. Obviously, we think you're bonkers, but don't walk past the products, you know. Get in touch with the person who sent you this recording and just say, can I try some of the products as just a little tester for a few days? Because you never know, you might absolutely fall in love with them like I did. You might be a maybe, and that's absolutely normal. Make sure that you get your questions answered by somebody that has actually been doing Forever for some time, because what you don't want to do is ask a complete stranger who's never been in the business before the answers to your questions on a business that they don't know anything about. Get your questions answered by the right people and make sure that you've completely made the right decision for you and your family. You might be a yes, in which case we welcome you with open arms and cannot wait to start this journey with you and get you registered and book that planning session. We'll ask you some really difficult questions like how much you want to earn, how quickly, and how much time you've got to put into your business, which is just really, really exciting. So I love this quote from the amazing Richard Branson. If someone offers you an amazing opportunity and you're not sure you can do it, just say yes and then learn how to do it later. Whatever your decision, thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you.